What's going on, guys? It's Nisha. I'm your life coach, your business mentor, and your virtual support system. And I'm back to you guys with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Here we talk about business knowledge, entrepreneurship, and how to get your internal and all of the past traumas, the past hurt, get that healed, get into wholeness so that we can actually enter into entrepreneurship. Or I discuss, of course, the tools and resources that can just give us an easier way of navigating through life in general. So if that's content you're interested in, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is a community where we definitely may step on one another's toes with the different things the different problems and solutions that we bring to the table. However, we are only here to interrupt the pattern and get us the resources that we need in order to live a better, whole, healthier life. So, without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Today's topic is the power of solitude. The power of solitude. For me, this one is definitely important now that I've actually entered into business and I'm not working the 9 to 5 anymore. Now that I'm actually structured and I'm working from home and I'm operating 2 businesses every single day. I know the power of solitude, and I have a better understanding for what life is like without embracing solitude. So we're gonna hop right on in this thing. Solitude, the state or situation of being alone or remote from society. It's equivalent to seclusion and isolation. For me, again, like I've said in previous videos, in the event that you exchange energies or ideas with any human being, you're altered from your original sense of self. So the way to actually recalibrate and get back into that ultimate sense of self, the original sense of identity, is to actually embrace solitude. It's to get by yourself, hear your thoughts, hear your feelings, kind of go over what you've just went through in interacting with another human. But after you rethink that thing and relive it, you're able to decide, do I really agree with what I just went through? Do I really agree with what I just heard? Do I really agree with what I just saw? And in the event that you don't agree with it, or you do, you're able to reassure self and recalibrate in the sense that, okay, if I don't agree, this is why, and this is who I am, so I'm staying true to that. If I do agree, this is why, this is who I am, and I'm choosing to agree and stay solid in that. So that's really just a quick little rundown of solitude and the effects it could have on you in the event that you actually embrace it. Ways to embrace solitude itself. There are 5 ways I have listed, and those 5 ways: meditation, journaling, writing, or typing. Those are really just one, but for me, I have carpal tunnel, so honestly, me writing anything for too long is not ideal. So that's the reason I chose writing or typing, because I'm a typer. Reading, praying, embracing or choosing silence over options of disregarding solitude, like audiobooks, radio, TV, phone calls, things like that. And don't get me wrong, audiobooks, that's my way of actually tapping into solitude a little bit. I'm a stylist, so in the event that I'm filling orders, making a wig, or actually doing someone's hair, for me, they may want to listen to the radio. I have my AirPod in because I'm listening to an audiobook, because I have so much work to do that I can't stop being a student. I can't stop learning so that I don't have to stop teaching. So for me, that's really, again, those are the 5 ways that you can actually embrace solitude. Again, meditation, writing or typing, reading, praying, or just choosing silence in general. The benefits of solitude. We're going to get in this thing. Solitude initially will allow for you to hear and acknowledge your own personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Consistent solitude could also build your self-trust, your confidence, and your self-esteem. For me, let's get into the example. The example states, after a bad day at work, typically we choose to run and tell our parents, our friends, siblings, or even a confidant all about the troubles of our day. However, solitude will allow you to control the narrative and redirect it to being positive spin. Even though it was a rough day at work, it was still a learning experience. It was still a blessing because I have a job, versus, like I said in my last video, anything that you give your energy to, that energy is multiplied. So if you're giving your energy to negativity, you're multiplying negative energy into your thoughts, into your spirit, into your subconscious. The same as positive energy. In the event that you give your energy to that, give your energy to positivity, that's multiplied in your mind, spirit, soul, subconscious. So because of that, it's crucial and evident that in the event you actually give your energy or your time or your thoughts, your feelings, if you don't control the narrative of those things, it can have a negative effect on you long term. And redirecting it to positivity, ideally, again, it will boost your self-trust, it'll boost your self-esteem, it'll boost your confidence, because you don't have to go to anybody else and seek that reassurance, seek that validation. You don't need that. You genuinely have a voice, you have dominion, you have power, you have authority, as well as everyone else. So because of that, I'm not saying dishonor the people around you, but you do yourself a disservice by honoring their opinions, their thoughts, their feelings before you actually acknowledge your own. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And speaking from experience, just to reassure the ones who feel like, oh my gosh, that was a revelation, I didn't realize how much I did that, no wonder why I don't feel or think as highly about myself as I should. It's okay. Been there, done that. We're not the first. We won't be the last. There are generations coming up after us. So that's why it's important that we acknowledge it. We acknowledge the fact that we didn't know any better, but we actually take in the new knowledge and try a different approach. That's it. I stepped on my own toes with that one previously. So trust me, it is okay. Without solitude, discussing your day with a confidant could result in you spending more time sulking in negativity than you anticipated. And life is short. Life is so short. This necklace that I have on, this is actually, I was supposed to take it off before this video, but this is actually a photo of my brother. My brother was killed a year ago to gun violence. So because of that, I have something that he no longer has, life. I have something he no longer has, a choice. I have something he no longer has, a voice and an option to control his narrative. So I'm taking it upon myself and choosing to live every single day intentionally in controlling my narrative, because that's something he doesn't have, but I know if he was here, that's something he'd be so proud of me for doing. And the same for you guys. Life is short. Whoever you've lost in the past, they don't have the opportunity to choose better and do better. So live it up for them. Take control for them if doing it for yourself isn't enough at the time. But you deserve it. They deserve it. They can't do it, so why not you? Solitude. Back to solitude. Solitude will expand your wisdom and discernment. Typically, we're shifted out of solitude when exchanging ideas and energies with others. I think because I plan my content, I kind of know what's being said, because literally in every video, I always speak out of turn instead of following my notes. So I'm sorry about that, but literally, I just said it. You're shifted out of solitude when you exchange energies and ideas with others. So let's think back really quickly to all of the times. Think back to a time where you were just on go. You were on go. Work, school, home, fill up the car, on the way home, go home, make dinner, and prepare breakfast and lunch for the next day because I got to get up in the morning and go again. How many of us have been stuck in that rut where we find ourselves on autopilot, just going, filling up the schedule, going with the flow of the schedule, and not actually making room, pushing all of that back and say, you know what, I just need 5 minutes of me time. How many times have you done that or not done that? How many times have you struggled with making the time for you? How many times have you struggled with the balance of life and being able to squeeze in just a little bit of room for yourself? In the event that you do that, I know for myself, there's been times where I find myself overly flustered. I find myself impatient, snappy, irritable, things like that, simply because I haven't had time to recalibrate. So it's crucial that we actually honor that. We're human. We're human. We deal with nastiness every day. We deal with raggedy attitudes every day. We deal with people who are wishy-washy. One day they're holy and the next day they're wholeheartedly a mess, So in that, you have to recalibrate in order for you to show up as that good, best representative of self. And for me, I'm at the place where my posture, my influence, how I represent myself is important, because you never know who you're coming into contact with. And there's been times where I've been the girl that side-eyed somebody and didn't know that somebody was somebody that could be a resource to me later in life. And I've also been on the opposite end where I'm that girl being side-eyed, like, who are you? And they didn't know, oh, I was the girl that you didn't know, and you just found out I'm me, And it's humbly speaking, because at the end of the day, nobody's more or less than the next. So this isn't that at all, but it's crucial that we actually honor the people next to us. And you can't honor them if you don't honor self. Solitude will get you there. So again, solitude plays a huge part in the fluctuation of our emotions, the fluctuation of our character, the fluctuation of our poise, posture, how we show up in the world. It even affects the fluctuation of our influence over the people around us, our co-workers, our family, even our children, even our parents. So it's crucial that you actually take that time, take a step back, and identify, how am I showing up in the world? Okay, is that how I choose to show up in the world? And if it's not, change it. It's okay. It's okay if it's not. That's fine. That's actually good that you realize that, because that's a lesson learned and that's something you can teach. Just throwing that out there. So, again, solitude. Typically, you're shifted out of solitude when exchanging ideas with others. When a person spends time in solitude away from others, they may experience changes in their self-concept. This can also help a person discover or recalibrate their identity. Solitude also provides time for contemplation without distraction. It also promotes growth in personal spirituality and self-examination. And for me, spirituality in itself is personal. Some people have the courage and the strength and the wherewithal, I guess, to be able to show up as a person who's spiritually open. However, spirituality does not consist of you putting it on display. Just because someone doesn't know, see, or isn't able to witness your spiritual practices on a day-to-day basis doesn't mean your spirituality is less valued than theirs. Spirituality is personal. It is an individual affair. But unless you know that, you'll be basing your spirituality off of your parents, your siblings, your grandparents. Or you'll just dishonor spirituality in general because you feel like, oh, I'm not in a place where I can do it this certain type of way. So because of that, I'm not going to do it at all. And that's definitely not the way to go. I feel in life, everybody, in order for us to all live a confident, whole, intentional lifestyle, it's crucial that we actually govern our lives according to something. My way is the Holy Bible. Everybody's way isn't the Holy Bible. However, regardless of what your religion is, regardless of what your resource is, as long as you're governing your life according to something in a sense of right and wrong, then you're on the right track. And with, like I say, for me, spirituality is an individual affair. There's nothing nobody can do or say to make me feel like my spiritual journey is less adequate or less accurate or less intentional simply because I don't do it on the level that they do it. However, last year, I didn't practice spirituality at all whatsoever. And if any of you guys knew me last year, you know that this girl right here that you see is not who I was last year. I was a complainer last year. I was a victim last year. I was jealous, envious, bitter, angry, upset, grieving, depressed, anxious. I could go on and on. So because of that, embodying spirituality for me, anybody who knows me can say I'm not the same girl I used to be, and the Bible is why for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but like I say, it promotes, solitude actually promotes growth in your spirituality if you actually practice it, or it gives you the wherewithal to recalibrate and say, you know what, maybe I should try it. Or it gives you the room to actually reevaluate self and do a full self-examination. Because like I say, it's crucial that we are actually intentional about how we choose to show up in the world, how we choose to influence one another. So solitude will allow the time for you to do that without any distractions. Speaking of distractions, not to get too far off subject, but I know for myself in my life, I've had a lot of business decisions that's run across my opportunity, I guess, whatever. A lot of business opportunities have come my way recently. In the event that I didn't tap into solitude and honor myself, I would have taken those opportunities. So I'm saying that to say you will get caught up in a rut of doing what everybody else wants you to do, being that people pleaser, being that person that's not intentional about the fact that you're not happy with where you are, but you're not doing anything about getting to where you want to be. Solitude allows for you to actually get that under control, get it in check, and prepare for the future. So also, solitude allows for you to get to know self, learn what you like and what you don't like. It allows for you to get comfortable and happy alone, so that regardless of where life takes you, you never compromise your self-worth. If you never take time to identify yourself, identify your worth, and then live life, it would be easy for you to fall into a place of compromising your dignity, compromising your standards, and or compromising your deal breakers. For me, that hits home. There's been plenty of times I've compromised my dignity in friendships and relationships. There's been plenty of times I've compromised my standards in friendships and relationships, business relationships even. There's been family relationships even. There's been plenty of times I've compromised my deal breakers in friendships, family relationships, business relationships, intimate relationships, friendships, simply because I didn't know my self-worth. I didn't identify who I was. I didn't stand up as the leader that God had already destined me to be. I was supposed to be this girl all along. I was supposed to be her all along, and I was too fearful of what the people around me would think, when really I was put in this position to shift the dynamic of the people around me anyway. So when you think about it like that, hopefully it makes it easier for you guys to tap into solitude, because I've been there. Again, I've been anxious, I've been depressed, I've been bitter, I've had low self-esteem, I've lacked courage. Anything that any of you've ever been, I've probably been that exactly. And yes, I'm young, but been there, done that. I have a work career that can emulate women in their 40s, emulate a resume of women in their 40s, women in their 50s. It may even surpass some. And it's not to brag, it's just to say life has dealt me a hand. And in that hand, I still was able to evolve and show up as the woman that God has called me to be. So if I could do that, a single at one point woman, a woman at one point, of course, I don't have children. So if I could do it, I know you moms can do it. I know you dads can do it. So because of that, don't let the day-to-day mess in our life distract you. Make room for solitude. Make room for it. When they call you, don't answer. Tell them you were busy. Tell them you reading a book. Tell them you listening to an audio book. Maybe that'll encourage them to do so. But it's crucial that we actually control our narratives. Without controlling our narratives, we're giving room for distraction. We're making room for everything to go haywire. And I lived my life like that for way too long. I can't do it no more. I cannot do it anymore. From, like I say, the friendships, the work relationships, all of it. It had to stop for me. And solitude was my way. Last but not least, I want to touch briefly on self-love and solitude, because for me, solitude is what got me to a place of self-love, and self-love got me to a place of confidence, courage, and being able to self-reflect as often as I need to, so that I can work on being the woman I'm called to be. So, in that, I'm sure many of you are like, what does self-love have to do with solitude? Like I say, let me explain. Solitude gives you... Oh, sorry, guys. Okay. Solitude gives you the opportunity to check in with yourself first, before you mingle or exchange energies with anyone else. When applying solitude to your life, it allows for you to honor your own voice, your own thoughts, your own voice, your own thoughts, your own opinions, ideas, experiences of yourself, without tainting your perspective by exchanging ideas or energies with others. again, just like the last video, I know I'm repeating myself. I'm doing it on purpose because I needed to go past your mind. I needed to go past your thoughts. I needed to sit in your heart, sit in your spirit, sit in your soul, and enter into that subconscious. Because that way, when you go to bed at night, you're going to think about this. And that way, hopefully, when you wake up in the morning, this will still be on your brain. It's time for us to tap out of the lifestyle and the quality of life that we've tolerated. Because, yes, we deal with certain things in life. That's a given. However, after dealing with those same old things for so long, you're tolerating it. And if nobody ever told you, I'd be the one to tell you. And it's okay if you've tolerated those things and you didn't necessarily know. It's okay. Been there, done that too. But it's time to stop. It's time to stop. That's it. When applying solitude to your life, it allows for you to honor your voice, your thoughts, ideas, opinions, experiences, and your own perspective. It allows for you to tap into your own level of discernment. After consistent success with making room for solitude, you'll begin to see the return on your investment in the self-love department. And that's why these two go hand in hand, because solitude allows, again, you're honoring you first. You're honoring your thoughts, your feelings, instead of putting that relationship first, instead of putting your children first. You have to be the best you in order for you to be the best you for them. So do it. Just try it. It allows for you to, after consistent success with making room for solitude, you'll begin to see the return on your investment in the self-love department. Your dominion will elevate, your mindset will elevate, your confidence will elevate, your poise, your grace, your positivity, and from there, your life will change. Your life will change. People won't feel as comfortable saying the things that they used to say because you know what you're worth. They won't feel as comfortable doing the things that they used to do to you because you know what you're worth. And you don't allow that for you. You don't allow you to do those things to you. So because of that, it'll be easier to say, hey, I don't do that anymore. And I'm okay with not doing that anymore. So because of that, let's not treat me like I'm that old version of me, because this is a new girl today. She's new. She's different. And I'm confident enough to say that, So, I love you guys so much. Honestly, I do it for you. It's bigger than just me. And I want us to go back to the level of us that we used to be, in a sense of, I grew up in East St. Louis. They talk, anybody from this area know, it's some talks being said about little old East St. Louis. But I can honestly, humbly say, when it comes to the children and the community dynamic, I love it and I don't want to lose it. If anything, I want to embrace it and continue to make room for that to fester and grow. So that's why I'm here doing this work, because I want this to touch the same souls of the people that I used to walk down the hallway with. I'm tired of seeing us acting and showing up as a lower vibrational representative of us. We don't have to be that, and I'm not limiting that to East St. Louis. I know for sure it's all across the board, all across the world. We're at a day and age where things are rocky. Things are not the way that we want them to be, but in order for us to change it, some of us got to step up and be the demonstration. Some of us have to actually say, you know what? It's not about me anymore. It's bigger than just me. So let me be that demonstration. Let me be that tool. Let me be that resource and show them, yes, I'm saying it needs to happen, but I'm starting with myself by making it happen. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. And again, I'm Nisha. I'm your life coach, your motivational speaker, your business mentor, and your virtual support system. In the event that any of you guys are looking for personal one-on-one coaching, you can find me on mymentor.life. Again, my name is Cornisha Jones on my mentor.life, and you can definitely go on there, schedule a coaching session, and from there it's up. It's time for us to make room for one another, help one another, and enter into a new life of abundance together. So I love you guys, and that's it. Thank you.